as Brady and Jason are covering him up. I look like I just woke up from a nap. And Mike, of course, is a beautiful man, as always. So,
Always.
as always, on fleek. What hair products do you use, Mike?
Shampoo and gel.
Shampoo.
That's about it. I don't even know what I don't even know the name.
What gel?
I'm pretty sure it's Old Spice, but I don't even know.
Ooh.
Mike messed up?
Is it mine?
It might be.
Probably.
Hold on.
Well, we're going to get things started. For anybody watching for the first time, we are the Sports Fans coming live to you on this beautiful 11th day of March. My name is Kellen Hansen, otherwise known as the Crimson Comet.
My name is Brady Fulmer, otherwise known as Lazy Snake.
I'm Prison Mike.
And I am Jason Call, the Bearded Wonder.
The Bearded Wonder. Anyways, we are so happy to be back. For anybody that's watching for the first time, we are a sports comedy talk show. We like to talk sports, tell a few jokes, and keep ourselves entertained 2 hours a week. Hopefully we can entertain you guys as well. Got a good show coming at you, but first of all, guys, how you been lately? Anything new?
It's snowing again, so that's kind of depressing.
Oh, it's so
That's about
cold.
it.
It's
Yeah.
snowing in Rock Springs
Miserable.
right now.
Oh, yeah.
It was.
I think this is the first time in like a month the weather in Stardust has been better than Rock Springs right now.
Nah,
That might be
jealous.
true. That might be
The sun
true.
is shining. It was not overly warm, but it wasn't freezing.
Well, we're happy for you, Jason.
Nice.
We hope
Yeah.
you enjoy it.
Yeah, it just feels good to be enjoying the weather more than you guys are for once.
Are you guys cold weather people or warm weather people?
Warm all the way. 100%. Warm weather.
I'm a warm weather person.
I like both, but I think I prefer the cold over really bad heat.
Yeah, me too. My motto is you can always put more clothes on. You can only take so many off.
That's true.
Yeah,
Okay,
but you can't go swimming. You can't go swimming in December when it's cold.
Yeah, you just go to an indoor pool.
no.
That's gross.
I agree with
It's
Kellen.
swimming in urine.
I feel like there's like no better feeling than it's like 105 degrees and you jump into a cold. There's no better feeling.
There's literally like three things. There's literally three things that you can do in winter that you can't do in summer: sledding, snowmobiling, and skiing/snowboarding. Other than that, yeah.
You can throw snowballs and make snowmen. And
That's little kid stuff, Mike.
You know what,
and
Mike?
feed cows. You can't do that.
You could technically feed cows in the summer, Mike.
That'd be a waste of money.
Well, we're saying could, not should.
Yeah, what about going to the elk refuge and spotting all the bulls?
You don't. Yeah, I mean, like,
Can't do that in the
That's such a-
summertime.
do you do that in the wintertime, Jason? Is that something
Yes,
you do with
I
regularity?
do it at least once a year.
Every time you drive by when you're on your way to Idaho Falls, you see the elk. Oh, I'm spotting elk.
No, I do it from the cabin up at McCoy Creek.
Oh my
Ha
gosh,
ha!
that doesn't count. Anyways,
It does count.
we are a sports show, so we're going to talk about sports.
Jason and I won that argument.
No, you didn't.
No, you
Mike.
didn't.
You got
You did not.
demolished.
You guys
Mike
got
totally won it. Mike totally won it.
You got a
You know
No,
what
Jason
else you
won
can
it,
do?
No,
though.
man.
Hold on. You know what else you
Kyle.
can get in summertime that you can't get in wintertime? Heat stroke. That's not
Well,
fun.
You
can get
hypothermia.
frostbite.
You sweat.
Frostbite.
You sweat, and
Drink some
you
water.
Yeah, it's not as fun.
Jason, what do you do in the wintertime that's fun? What do you personally do in the wintertime that's fun that you don't do in the summer? You don't ski. You don't really snowmobile that often.
I like to drag my kids around with my razor on the slick roads. That's fun.
But can you go on actual razor rides up the mountains when there's too much snow?
I could
Yeah,
if I
it's called
put
a
tracks
snowmobile.
on my razor. Yeah.
But he doesn't do that.
I've ridden snowmobiles like at least once a week this winter.
Well, we're proud of you. Anyways, let's talk sports.
It wasn't. It was just to check them in at the resort, but
Fix your
didn't ask
mic,
that.
bro. Fix
Is it
your
still-
mic. Anyways, Brady, why don't you fill us in on our first topic? Let's move into the NFL. There's been some obviously everybody knows with the new rules in the cap space. There's been a lot of changes. But why don't you go to what's happening down south for the Houston Texans?
Yeah, so the Houston Texans are getting a decent running back in Mark Ingram. Mark Ingram was on the Ravens this past year, and that year Mark Ingram played a lot and had a pretty big role in the team, but about halfway through the year and through the end of the year, they benched Mark Ingram. So I feel like it's a great pickup for the Texans because they're getting a powerful, strong in Mark Ingram, as well as it's a great move time, and he's going to be able to actually help a team instead of sit on the sidelines. So I think teams, the Ravens and the Texans, should be happy, as well as Mark Ingram should be happy. So awesome pickup for the Texans.
Yeah. Jason, what are your thoughts on this? We can't hear you, bro. We'll jump over to Mike. Mike, what are your thoughts?
I really don't know much about the subject. Like, I never heard of Mark Ingram before until we talked about it on the podcast. So I'm sorry, my NFL knowledge is just not that great. I need to increase a lot more. But along with when Brady said he came out of the Baltimore Ravens, I feel like as a running back, one of the few places you don't want to be is the Baltimore Ravens, just because Lamar Jackson is such a dynamic runner. They're going to be using him to run a lot more than they would a running back, I feel like.
Mike.
Can you hear me now?
Yeah,
Yes.
Go ahead.
Okay, sorry guys. So I am kind of on the other side of the fence on this one. Mark Ingram's 31 years old.
That's
Granted,
your age.
yeah. Would you hire me as a running back?
A power back,
I would.
absolutely.
Okay.
Fullback.
I mean,
If Mike can be the Cowboys' sixth-string quarterback, you can be the Baltimore Ravens' third-string fullback.
There you go. I'm just like, I don't know if I'm Deshaun Watson or a Texans fan right now. This doesn't get me excited at all. I'm sorry, it doesn't. It's too little, too late. Like, they've got to make some drastic changes, or Deshaun Watson wants out now. But if they're going to keep him around till his contract expires, they've got to sweeten the deal, or he is gone.
Yeah. Can I just say, first of all, I have to disagree a little bit with Mike, just because if you look at the structure of the Ravens offense, that's actually like a really good team to be a running back. Like, even though Lamar Jackson is super mobile and that's obviously a talent, like, they're not trying to run the ball with Lamar Jackson 20 times a game, But the thing is they are running the ball consistently, and you see guys like, was it Gus Edwards?
Mm-hmm.
Who had a really good season. Mark Ingram had a phenomenal season last year. The biggest thing, though, is, Jason, he's 31 years old. He's not really in his prime anymore. And then if I look at him going to the Texans, and I think, all right, like, I don't really see why he would feel that optimistic about his chances, knowing that David Johnson just got traded last year to the Texans, and they used him, right? And I feel like David Johnson, in my opinion, has more upside than Mark Ingram at this point. Now, he's not going to solve any problems for that offense but I don't know. He is a notable name just because he's a former Heisman winner. But like I said, I don't really think much will come of it.
Okay, you guys need to give Mark Ingram a little more credit than you're giving him. I feel like I'm not saying he's going to go into the Texans and be a star, maybe not even a starter, but I feel like the Texans are going to kind of have something like have had the last few years with they've had Latavius Murray coming off the bench to be that kind of that power back, but still gets carries, and then Alvin Kamara as that main back. And I feel like that's kind of going to be how the Texans will be with Johnson as the main back, but Alvin Kamara playing, or not Alvin Kamara, excuse me, Mark Ingram playing a lot in the red zone and playing well. I think that he's a great pickup for the Texans, and I think if you watch the games for the Ravens that he did play in, it's not like he played bad. He played well. It's just the Ravens had some talent in J.K. Dobbins and Gus Edwards, who were younger, faster backs that fit the Ravens system better. But I feel like Mark Ingram still has a link.
Yeah, but the fact is, though, is he got benched, though. Like, that's the thing, is he obviously got benched, and it's not like he has character issues. I honestly think he just doesn't have that much left in the tank. And once you get into that 30-year-old range as a running back, you're almost considered geriatric at that point in terms of your production. Like, you're not going to be putting up the same numbers. And I don't really feel like he's ever been that great of a running back anyways in the NFL. Like, I would never say at one point in his career he's been a top 3 running back, maybe not even a top 5 running back. So, like, do I think he might contribute? Maybe, but I don't think he's going to be the number 1 bell cow in that offense.
I agree. To just go off that, Brady, I think I hear what you're saying, because we've seen some good things from Mark Ingram in the past. The thing about running backs, though, is it's not like Tom Brady and the quarterbacks that can kind of prolong their career for a little while. Like, running backs are consistently getting hit every night, every game. You know, they take a lot of punishment. I just don't see him being that much of a factor for this team at this age.
Yeah, Frank Gore's still in the league. That dude's old.
Frank Gore's a different beast, though, man.
I get what you guys are saying. I don't think he's going to come in and really make like a difference, but I also feel like it's a good pickup for the Texans. It's a really guy who defenders said that he's might be the hardest hitting running back in the league as far as just powerful. When they said it'll about shatter your, just a really powerful guy with veteran experience. I think is going to be a good pickup for that Texans team.
Yeah,
I honestly think this feels like the Texans just trying to get some good publicity with free agent moves and things, like just showing, hey, we can actually bring somebody to Houston. They all like. You know what I mean? It almost feels desperation at this point for them.
Mm-hmm.
I definitely think that could be.
Let's stay on the same topic of the Houston Texans, because new head coach David Coley recently had his first press conference with the media, where he was able to talk about some of the expectations, and obviously John Watson was brought up. And this is what David Coley said. He said, "We are very committed to Deshaun as our quarterback. He is our quarterback. He's the only guy we've got under contract at this time right now." Now, Watson requested a trade less than 6 months ago. But last season, remember, he signed a 4-year, $156 million contract extension that goes through 2025, which means that he really doesn't have too much footing to stand on. Now, everyone's talked about it. He's talked about how he would be willing to sit out. But I want to hear your guys' thoughts on this. The fact that the head coach, David Coley, is still considering Deshaun Watson to be his number 1 quarterback and the guy that he's expecting to have that offense going in August, what does that say about the situation, and what does this mean for not only Deshaun Watson but the whole Texans organization? We'll start off with Jason.
So I'm kind of on the fence on how I feel about this. We talked about Dak Prescott last show and how it kind of feels like he's more concerned with money than playing or winning. But I feel like Deshaun Watson is almost like he got paid, don't get me wrong, but it's almost like he doesn't want to play for the Texans because he wants to save his body for a team that he'll actually contribute for. I don't know. That's kind of my feeling for it, and I almost wonder why that's why he doesn't want to be there anymore. They just showed – I mean, that ownership has not shown to Deshaun Watson that they want to win. And that would be extremely frustrating for me. Do I think he should sit out next season? No, I don't think he should. But if I was the Texans, I'd start coming up with a plan B as far as maybe finding a new guy because he's not happy there.
Brady?
No, I agree with a lot of what Jason said. I definitely don't feel like it's a good fit for Deshaun Watson. He wants out. But I think what's the guy's name? Dave Coley, is that what you said?
David Coley.
David Coley. Yeah, I think David Coley knows the kind of player that Deshaun Watson is and knows how good he is. So he's trying to keep him at whatever cost he can. But I think it comes to where if he wants out of somewhere so bad, like there's not much you can do if you are the management, which is kind of sad. I always players like refuse to be totally get where Deshaun Watson's coming from. He's a great player, but has never really been on that good of a team.
Yeah. Here's my thing, guys. So I'll go and then I'll let Mike comment real quick. But my whole thing with Deshaun Watson is the fact of the matter is last year he signed a $4-year extension for what, $125 million. And so the fact of the matter is if he was really unhappy with the way things were going, if he was really unhappy with that organization, he shouldn't have taken that money.
Yeah.
Like, I honestly think that's what it comes down to. Is like, I think that the Houston Texans culture is the biggest thing. I just don't think he likes the organization. I think he has a problem with the culture. He's obviously getting sick of the GMs giving away his best receivers for free, basically. I'm not going to complain about that one as a Cardinals fan. But the fact of the matter is you signed the contract. Legally, you have to work for them. It's $156 million, right? And I know you say, I don't like the culture, I don't like the team, I don't like the fans, I don't like anything, I don't like the players I have. But you know what? You made the bed, now you got to lay in it. And so for me, it's kind of like if he doesn't want to play, that's fine. He is hurting the Texans, but he's also hurting himself. So if I was the Texans, what I would do is I would be like, fine, you know what? If you want to sit out a whole season, 2 seasons, 3 seasons, 4 seasons, that's fine. We'll cut our losses. Now, obviously, maybe I'm just saying that because I'm vengeful and pity, and I'd probably do that. But the fact of the matter is Deshaun Watson is not doing himself any favors, I think, personally, by sitting out. And I don't think he really looks like a very credible option at this point because he did sign the contract last season. It's not like he's in his 4th year on a 6-year contract.
And Kellen, to build off that, because I agree, it doesn't make Deshaun Watson look any better. But I think the fact that he went public with this and just instead of just trying to work it out with the organization, and maybe he did and got frustrated and took it public, I don't know. But this whole situation doesn't make the Texans look good, and it doesn't make Deshaun Watson look – I mean, he's desirable, but this is kind of a black mark on that record right now.
Yeah.
I feel like no matter what the head coach says or the GM or whoever it was who said that comment, I feel like nothing he says now is going to make a difference. He can say all he wants. He can say, you're our only quarterback and we'll love you till you die, and it's not going to matter because ultimately Deshaun Watson wants out. So unless they start putting pieces in there, he's going to keep wanting out, and you can talk all you want, but if you don't do anything about it, it's not going to help the situation. And I feel like I really hope he doesn't sit out. I kind of agree with you guys. I feel like sitting out is one of the worst options he can do. And I know you guys don't love it when I compare the NFL to the NBA, but it'd be almost like James Harden, where you sit out and you demand a trade, and then everyone kind of starts to hate you. And I know James Harden is doing really good right now, but there's no guarantees that this.
The thing is you're right, Mike, and we didn't really we've had a problem with James Harden before that even happened. Let's be honest, but you know, it was kind of like he doomed the Nets to be hated. I mean, I don't know about you. Like, I respect Kevin Durant and his skills, but he has now been on two teams that I just don't like. And this time it wasn't his fault. It was James Harden and the way he got to the Nets. I just don't agree with it. I hate it. I'm kind of an old-fashioned guy, and I like what Kellen said. If a team pays you to play the game and you're able to play, you don't play the dang game.
I agree.
Yeah. We're gonna move on to another. We're gonna move on to another subject. This is kind of big news, and this is something that, like, I actually hate to see this, and I feel like this is one of those situations where if it wasn't for the new cap rules, I'm not sure this one would happen. Just because I feel like this guy has been so solid for his team. But the Kansas City Chiefs are releasing both of their starting offensive tackles, Mitchell Schwartz, and then the big one is former #1 overall draft pick and two-time Pro Bowler Eric Fisher, who recently suffered a torn Achilles tendon in the AFC Championship game. And he has been nothing but a class act in the NFL. He's been a very talented player and kind of a fixture on that offensive line. And I'll tell you what, having him out in that Super Bowl, it was very noticeable. So they decided to part ways with him. And I want to hear your guys' thoughts on this. What are you guys thinking right now? If you guys are Eric Fisher, how are you feeling? If you guys are Chiefs fans, how are you feeling? Let's start off with Prison Mike.
I just feel like you guys are trying to save face because you lost the bet about the Super Bowl.
What? How are we saving face?
I'm
Wow.
kidding. I'm joking. I'm sorry.
Look, we're not all like you and Mattress Mac,
Things are
Mike.
about to
We
get-
don't know everything.
No, I'm kidding. I've lost plenty of bets.
We're not team level.
But if being honest, I do not know much about these guys. You feel bad because they released the one guy, and the only reason that I feel like he was declining was he got injured, and so that's a big thing. And they ultimately, the Chiefs are just trying to make the best decision for their organization. And if that's the decision they made, then that's. I guess they don't believe that he's going to be able to come back and be as efficient from an Achilles there. So that's about all I got to say.
Mm-hmm. Jason?
It's sad. I mean, they were starters on that offensive line, and you're right. They definitely missed. They missed Fisher a lot in the Super Bowl. I think he would have been sort of a much appreciated addition in the Super Bowl. I'm reading an article on this. The Chiefs need, before they let those two guys go, they need to clear about $20 million from their salary cap, and that move, letting those two guys go, freed up 18. So I mean, they brought them really close to where they need to be salary cap wise. You can go. I mean, we talk about the quarterbacks in this draft, but there's some linemen out there in this draft too. You can go draft a couple of young bucks on rookie contracts and get a lot of value there right now. They still got a couple veteran guys on that line that can kind of help them out. And honestly, like, with as jumbled as the Chiefs' offensive line was in the Super Bowl, I mean, they struggled, but they showed that they could at least make it work. So give them one or two more talented guys to kind of shore that up, and I think they'll be right back on track with that.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, Brady.
So I'm kind of with Mike. I don't have too many thoughts on this. I do for Eric Fisher. Just it always sucks when a player gets injured and then is released. I can kind of understand letting Schwartz guy go just because if you watch that the Chiefs offensive line was definitely the weak part of the whole team. So I'm not sure if it was direct or if he didn't do a good job, but I understand letting someone go because of that, because that was the one piece you were lacking was that offensive line. But it sucks that Eric Fisher's going. I think he's a great left tackle, and I feel like he's going to be a great pickup for some other team.
Well, let's remember Schwartz, though. He was All-Pro in 2017, 2018, and 2019. It was just kind of this season. Yeah, he had injuries as well.
He missed 3 months of the season with an injury, and then the report said he just had surgery on his back.
See, and I think what it comes down to is injuries, but also this cap stuff. Teams are having to figure out ways to save money, and teams that are over the cap are kind of in trouble.
And Kellen, I did a little more deeper digging in this, and the Chiefs actually have another tackle that will probably start that they drafted last draft in the 3rd round that opted out of the season last year.
Yeah.
So they've got a 3rd round pick tackle ready to go already.
Yeah. No, and I think the fact of the matter is the NFL, man, it takes a toll on these players' bodies, and when they get to the age 30 anyways, a lot of them are nearing the end of their playing career, if not done. And so we're going to move on, though, to the NBA, just because I saw this. They just actually added on – they have the 57-man potential roster for the Tokyo Olympics. And there's a big list of players on there. Now, just a reminder, I believe it was last year at some point, the United States competed in the FIBA World Cup, I believe it was, and they were actually demolished. They did not do well. But they didn't have any superstars on that roster. It was a very weak roster compared to a lot of other teams.
I think Eric Mika was on that roster, Kellen.
That's why they were bad.
Holy cow.
Concluding that, this is what some of the players said. Jimmy Butler said in his introductory news conference in Miami, he would most definitely consider playing in the 2020 Olympics. Stephen Curry said that is the plan for sure. Obviously, knock on wood, you don't want any injuries or things like that to interfere. Anthony Davis, I want to play USA basketball. If I get the opportunity to do so, if they invite me, I would definitely love to do so. Paul George, I would love to. Hopefully, God willing, I can get through a season healthy. And when that time comes, I would love to be a part of the Olympics and represent. Draymond Green, I definitely want to play in the Olympics next year. I'm actually planning my wedding around it. James Harden, it's one of my goals to represent this beautiful country. LeBron James, I would love to. I will address that at some point. Kawhi Leonard, I do want to play, but I'm taking it one step at a time. And right now it is getting the Clippers to the finals. Damian Lillard, I plan on
if Kawhi played, he'd sit on the bench. He'd rest between games.
He would. Dude, here's the thing:
I have to give a shout out to our comment though. Donovan Mitchell leading the Team USA to the gold. Thanks for the comment.
That's my
you know what,
that's my boy Don Hatch. Shout out to him. He hopped on and I told him to comment something. He's a diehard Jazz.
Will be on that team. Donovan Mitchell will be on that squad. I'm saying that he's going to make the final
100%.
roster.
And I'll tell you what. There's a decent amount of people, like some good players on the roster already.
Yeah, no.
I'm excited. I really hope they put together a really good team.
But here's the thing, though, is everybody was saying, and there was like this argument, essentially that said, the United States is going to have to get used to the fact that now the way the game is, they're not going to just dominate when it comes to international competition because there's too many good international players. And obviously, we were kind of shown up. Our country was shown up by some other countries. But when you get LeBron, Steph Curry, and Kawhi, and Donovan Mitchell, of course,
And Damian Lillard.
when all those guys decide they're going to represent the United States and wear red, white, and blue, I'm sorry, guys. Maybe I'll sound like the most ethnocentric, bigoted person, but we're not losing to any other countries. Like that is, we are,
no.
And we have seen it time and time again with the rosters that we put out. When the stars decide they want to play, it's a gold medal, and usually there's not very many close games.
I also read that same article. They were talking about how Zion was added to the roster, and two of the other names that stuck out to me is they also had Zach LaVine, and I believe Julius Randle. And just with those three, I feel like it'd be a good team. So like you said, if they add some of those superstars on there that they've been talking about, it's over. Like no one in the world can play with them.
Well, and here's the thing is like, you think like, why would these players really want to do it? Like it would cut into their summer and they wouldn't get as much rest and all that. But the thing is a lot of these guys haven't had the chance to win a gold medal, right? And I feel like you want to win NBA championships. If you're an NBA player, that's your number one goal. You want to win NBA championships. But two, gold medals look pretty dang good. Like you want to kind of get the trifecta. Like if you can get personal stuff as well as a gold medal, as well as an NBA championship, like that's an awesome opportunity. And so I'll tell you what, like I'm pretty confident that a lot of the best players are gonna suit up. And I just don't think there's a full roster that's gonna do anything. Any disagreements there?
Nope.
Yeah, I agree.
Awesome.
No one can stop us.
No one can stop us.
I am
For any of my Canadian family members, don't be like, well, Canada, eh? We have Andrew Wiggins, eh?
You and Andrew Wiggins? Yeah. No.
Oh, hey, the Australians got Joe Ingles, though.
They
That's
do.
true. Secret weapon right there.
Yeah, like they're not gonna make it too far, I don't think.
Hey, you don't need to disrespect you in front of me.
Brady, you know I don't. Brady, you know I don't disrespect Joe Ingles, but him in an Australian roster, they're not beating a U.S. team.
You know what, though?
Dante
Joe Ingles,
Exum,
Della Vadova, Andrew Bogut. They've got some guys. I can't say that word. Hey, shut up, you. It's a lot of syllables in one last name, okay? Just be quiet.
They start Dante Exum.
Dante
Exum. He tears ACL.
There you go. But I mean, the Australians actually have a semi-decent team. It's not what the United States is going to put out there. But, you look at some of these countries like Spain's been good in the past. France. It'll be interesting. It's really a contest to see who wins the silver, though, isn't it?
Oh, yeah.
And for the comment, 100%, Dante Exum is garbage.
The most useful thing he was used for was to get Jordan Clarkson.
Yeah, that's true.
Dude,
that trade was genius.
He was one of the worst. He was one of the worst draft picks though in Jazz history because they tried to hype him up so much, and he never materialized. Like he was just a liability, man. So I agree with that one. We're gonna move on, and I hate to bring up this next subject.
Wait. I noticed you didn't put this in our list, but I think Jason put it in the chat that he wanted to talk about the new team jerseys. I know he put the Jazz specifically, but
I didn't want to
I know there's a few teams.
Jazz's new uniforms, man.
You didn't
Well,
watch
wasn't- I thought they looked pretty slick. I like
I haven't
green.
even seen them. I haven't even seen them.
They are pretty sick. They're really light green. They're gonna look like leprechauns out there, but they're pretty sick.
Hey, just in time for St. Patrick's Day.
There you go. A St. Patrick's Day jersey.
Yeah.
No one's getting on the Jazz.
Yeah, they're okay. I
But
don't
hey,
know.
no, the cool thing is though is every team that made the playoffs last season gets an alternate version of a jersey, which I think is really cool. Like it's kind of a bragging right and almost incentive for these teams that couldn't make the playoffs to maybe go get it. I don't know. I don't think players are that motivated, but maybe fans just have something to write on it.
Yeah. Well, Jason,
the Jazz ones look pretty. The Jazz ones do look pretty slick. I will admit. Brady and I were talking about this earlier, when we were eating dinner, and we were talking. Like two of my favorite Jazz jerseys are definitely the old green and yellow ones that they have, green and gold, and then the purple ones. Those two are pretty awesome.
Yeah, the modern purple ones.
Yeah.
See, and I grew up with the Jazz and the mountain jerseys. And to me, that's just always going to be my favorite. But I really like what they're doing with the Red Rock jerseys too. They've got a good, in soccer they call them kits, but they've got some good setups for the season and in general.
Okay.
Kellen looks so
Never go back to black.
I love how Mike was trying
Kellen's
to
like-
swerve where I was going. He's like, instead of talking about that, let's talk about the Jazz's jersey.
It's because you guys are gonna rant on it, and it's not even.
He was just
Gonna be
trying
so
to
biased.
say the inevitable.
It's big news, Mike.
Biased is unreal.
Big news.
Mike, can I just say, Mike?
I think we should let Mike introduce the topic so he can at least get his 2 cents in before anything else happens.
We'll let Mike first. You go ahead, Mike.
All right. The topic is Wyoming lost to San Diego State by 3 points.
All right,
That's not where we're
Mike's
going.
muted.
Good game, though. That was a good game.
Let's just. We'll give you one chance, Mike.
All right. Yeah. Duke has dropped out of the ACC tournament and have ended their 2021 season. Sad
Yeah.
news
After a positive test,
for COVID.
ending
It
a
was-
streak of 24 consecutive NCAA tournament appearances.
So here's my question on this whole situation. Was that the policy of the ACC in the tournament that if anybody on the team
I don't think so.
got it, they had
So-
to drop out?
From what I've read is I'm not exactly sure what the ACC policy is. I know that if they can't put together a team, they had to drop out because it would affect the conference, the rest of the tournament schedule, and that would affect March Madness. So if they couldn't put together a team, they had to drop out. From what
A
I've
minimum
read,
of 5.
yeah, they have to have a minimum of 5. But from what I read, only one person tested positive, but they had to quarantine several people from contact tracing, is what I read. So I don't know the full extent of it. We might find out more within the next few days, but that's what I read. So it was not the ACC's fault.
Yeah. And that's the thing is they haven't had positive COVID tests. And I'm not going to lie, Mike, I was actually kind of feeling like, man, maybe they'll have a shot, you know? If they could have gotten into the ACC championship, maybe. Which you never know. I just feel like this reflects, like, obviously they have to take things seriously. They have to take precautions, but at the same time, like, this whole season, Duke's basketball's just been off. And I think it all started with Coach K saying he didn't want to play the season. I honestly think the whole culture of that team was off. And yeah, it's just been a really rough year for Duke.
And to be honest, though, if Coach K wouldn't have made those comments at the beginning of the season, then we wouldn't really be giving Duke dropping out because of a COVID test. As like, yes, it sucks, but because Coach K said what he said, they automatically are getting more attention because of it, because of this COVID test.
I was telling Mike earlier that it was karma. Yeah, I think it's karma.
Hey, I like Dallin Hatch. Dallin, you are awesome, buddy. We need to hang out, my friend.
You should not have said that. You got him going.
Yeah. Hey, just shout out. Did you guys watch that?
Uh-oh, Jason got muted somehow. Go ahead. Sorry, Jason. You are allowed.
We're trying to keep it clean, or I would have done something there. But no, that was a good game. That's all I have to say. I enjoyed watching it. Good game. Dallin, thank you for giving the shout out so I didn't have to. So I had a reason to go with it.
Yeah. No, I'm a BYU fan myself. I have to limit how much BYU talk Jason says in one episode.
Honestly, though, Kellen, we could spend a whole podcast just talking about BYU.
Oh, Jason could literally talk for 3 hours. He could do a 3-hour podcast 5 days a week about BYU sports.
Like, Kellen and I could be, if you guys have seen BYU Sports Nation on BYU TV, we could be those guys. Definitely. Jerem Jordan, Spencer Linton, look out. We're coming for you.
But anyways,
I just want to say this. Brady and I were talking about this in the call. We went to Walmart and we were talking about this on the way back, and we were discussing BYU and like possible seeding positions. And one of the seeding positions that came up was the 5th seed. And then we talked about four of my favorite games in March Madness is the 5th and 12th seed, because a 12th seed always seems to win every year. So BYU better be careful.
I don't think BYU is getting a 5 seed though. Personally, I think BYU is a 7 seed. Personally,
I have seen it projected as high as a 5, but I would prefer a 6-7 seed at this point.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. But yeah, Duke season is over. Rough way to go out, Mike. It's a good thing you don't have to burn the hat.
Yeah, that's a dang good
Jason
thing.
was going to buy you.
I'm glad I am not burning my hat.
Yeah. Well, It wasn't even your hat. Jason was going to buy you a Duke hat.
I was going to buy you a new one just so you could.
But this one was a gift, man. Like, I can't.
We weren't going to buy.
No, I wasn't going to buy you one to replace it. I was going to buy you one to burn.
Oh, I would have done that.
Dang it! Are you serious? We're going to have fire in this episode.
I'm sorry. I thought we were talking about burning this one.
Freaking Mike.
I'm sorry.
You know what? I did not get that. I'm going on Amazon and I'm getting one. We're gonna have fire next week.
Okay.
We're gonna.
Yeah. All right.
Good luck. I mean, what am I gonna do with the fire alarm will go off?
Sites. Like Coach K's gonna see it and be like, "Well, Mike Moyes was a fan. He quit on us, like I quit on the team."
Oh man, I would pay money.
Coach,
I would just.
Coach K has the most it's like the most unmasculine. Like some of these college coaches, they're like most of them, like the good ones, they have that like Southern accent. They're like, "Wow, we done gone out there and played our best." But Coach K is like, "I just don't touch the balls because it's germy." He's not a masculine person. I mean, I'm not saying I'm like the peak of masculinity, but Coach K might be a cupcake. Like I feel like he's the type of guy.
No, you're talking to a guy who's won 6 national championships.
I'm just saying.
This is as bad as this is almost as bad as you saying that you're more athletic than Joe Ingles.
I am.
It's the same level. You are not more athletic than Joe Ingles.
Okay, Coach
Why are we
K.
back
Do you
to
really
this?
think Coach K would do an arm wrestling contest? He probably wouldn't. He'd be like, I wouldn't do it, but my wrist
The
would get
dude's like 75.
tired. Yeah. He's a 75-year-old. If he was 22, I could kick his rear end, Mike.
Mike, don't fall into this trap.
Basketball.
Don't fall into the trap.
At West Point.
Yeah.
Who cares?
Kellen is also a diehard UNC fan, though, so he's never going to
He's
say
not a
anything
diehard. We
about-
already proved this. You can't even name one person on the roster.
Well, then you're not a sports fan because the only sport you know is college basketball and NBA.
Hey, that is not nice.
This show isn't basketball fans.
Kellen, be
sports
nice.
I'm leaving the show then. I'm getting off. We'll see ya.
Mike, don't do it. Don't do
leaving.
it.
No,
I'm
Mike.
sorry.
No, Mike.
I'm sorry, Mike.
Okay.
I agree. Nobody in Wyoming is more athletic than Joe Ingles. Joe Ingles takes the cake.
Yeah.
100%.
Definitely nobody in Wyoming has a higher than a 28-inch vertical. That is for sure.
You know, I'm kind of sad. I'm from Wyoming, and I watched the Wyoming game today, and I still can't name any of the players on the team, or I would dispute that right now. Except they're in Vegas. They're not in Wyoming, so he's got a point there.
No one in Wyoming currently.
Are we really going to say no one's more athletic than Joe Ingles, or no one's a better basketball player than Joe is?
I'm trying to. Well,
We'd have to go
I don't know,
basketball
like-
player, but
he said more athletic. I
There are
don't know.
definitely
I'm trying
people-
to think. Like,
But you
Who
got to
would you
think
say
about
is-
most of the people from Wyoming, like who are playing on Wyoming, are not even from the state of Wyoming. Some of them
Okay.
are.
But you can't tell me that Joe Ingles with his 28-inch vertical is like more athletic than like athletic high schoolers. Like 28 inches is not a high vertical, Mike. That is not a good vertical at all. That's not athleticism.
I actually want to know what Mike's vertical is because I think it's better than that.
It is probably better than
But that doesn't mean I'm more athletic than him.
that. You know, I don't know what his sporting time is. I don't know how fast he is, but like I feel like
Okay.
you're confusing
okay.
athleticism with
Mike, you left
He-
Kellen
he-
speechless for a second. Like I've
No, he
never
didn't.
seen that
He
happen in
didn't
his
say anything
entire
smart.
life.
He didn't say
No,
anything
you.
smart.
This was your exact reaction, though.
There's so much yelling, I can't even hear what's being said. I don't even know what just happened.
I just love how we bring up Joe Ingles like every show and talk about him being athletic.
One
Because
day
of
he's going to
disrespect,
catch
man.
wind of this. One day he's
I'm
going to
not
catch
even-
wind
I'm
of
not
this
even
and punish someone.
I'm not even a huge Jazz fan, but I mean, you can't disrespect Joe Ingles, and he's an NBA player.
Yeah, he's an NBA
Oh,
player.
Kellen,
He's a
you're
really
being
good-
roasted
he's-
in the chat.
He's
Man.
a really good basketball player. He's like a great basketball player.
Yeah, Dallin.
To do his little fake pass on the okay, that's not athleticism, bro. That is basketball. He's
Hey, be
better.
nice to the viewers.
I'm just saying, like,
But
Just-
athleticism is also more than just being able to jump. Like, I could maybe have a higher vertical than Joe Ingles, but there's so much more to athleticism.
see, when I say athleticism, though, I'm thinking jump high, run fast, throw far. That's athleticism. That's what I'm talking about.
I also feel like athleticism is strength and endurance as well.
Yeah, no, he's in good shape. I'm not saying that. I'm just saying, like, in terms of like raw natural athletic ability, I feel like he's not like superb.
All right, we probably should move on because we're almost out of time. And
Yeah,
we
well-
spent half of this arguing about Joe Ingles.
If anybody has connections with
go.
Joe Ingles and can help us out, we need to schedule a one-on-one game, him versus Kellen, just so
Yes.
we can see
One-on-one.
how that compares.
It's an athletic competition. We would do
All right.
100-meter dash, vertical leap.
He would beat you right now. He would beat you.
Oh yeah, 100%,
He would beat
100%.
you.
Give me 6 months. Give me 6 months of raw training.
That's what you said a month ago, so you got 5 left.
Give me 5 months of athletic
All right.
training.
All right, seriously though, let's move on. Let's move on.
That got wild.
That did get wild.
Okay, so we were going to talk about regional teams and their conference tourneys. We mentioned BYU keeping it close with Gonzaga, leading for most of the game. We mentioned Wyoming almost knocking off San Diego State today. Brady, you said you've been following Utah State. How are they? Have they even played yet in their conference tournament, or how are they doing?
So they actually play in 5 minutes. They play, I believe it's UNLV, which they got the number 2 seed, so they had bye first round. In this, they're into the semis, and I feel like they're on the side of the bracket because they're on the opposite side of San Diego State and Boise State. Which, if they win, probably have to play Colorado State, but I would rather play Colorado State than I would State or Boise State. So I feel like Utah State's on the right side of the bracket to make it to the finals.
And honestly, though, the way San Diego State played today, like, granted, Wyoming was just playing out of their minds, but I don't know. Maybe San Diego State's not a bad team to get in the tournament right now.
Yeah, they didn't. Yeah, they didn't show anything that was too impressive today. But I agree with you. I think Wyoming played.
Yeah, but Wyoming's kind of a trap team, and like when it comes to like the conference tournament, like they're always kind of sneaky. Like they've been known to like upset teams that should be better than hypothetically, but I don't know. I think their style of play translates well to tournaments.
Yeah, and here's the thing I thought was really cool. Just my one thing on the Wyoming, and then I'll get off of it. Wyoming played San Diego State this year, and they lost by over 20 both times. It was a complete blowout. And then Jeff Linder, their coach, that we're going to slow this game completely down. He said they were getting out on fast layups. So you would see Wyoming today. They start to push the ball on like a fast break situation, and then they would literally just back it up, and they would just hold it near midcourt until there was 10 seconds left on the shot clock. And they literally ran pretty much every single shot clock down to absolutely nothing. So it was just a genius strategy, almost paid off.
They at least once had a 10-second call because they were not pushing the ball up the court at all, just walking it up the court. And it worked out for them. It was a good game plan. The two things I take away from the Wyoming program right now is they have a really young coach that's got energy, and they started at least 3 freshmen today. So, I mean, if he's building a team, you watch the next couple seasons, they're going to have a lot of experience on that team.
Agreed.
Yeah, I agree. No, I'll tell you what. I feel like Wyoming is on the verge of kind of having a run like they did several years back in 2016 when they made the tournament. Like I feel like they have some dudes on that team that have a lot of potential. And for example, is Marcus Williams? How old is he?
He's a freshman.
Yeah,
he won the freshman of the year for Mountain
that
West.
kid was that's right. He was the Mountain West Conference freshman of the year. He was great this year. Hunter Maldonado is another fixture in that on that team. He's only a junior, so he should be coming back next year. I'll tell you what, this Wyoming team, I don't really see the Mountain West Conference as I don't really feel like there's a dominant program right now in that conference. And I feel like Wyoming's going to have the opportunity to move up and possibly compete for a conference championship next year.
Agreed.
Awesome. We're running a little low on time. Jason, why don't we just jump into our tournament challenge, the bracket? Why don't you explain that a little bit better? Because you set that up.
Yeah. So we're going to do a tournament bracket group, a Sportsfans dedicated group. It's on the link is on our Facebook page at Sportsfans. If you want to enter, you can enter 2 brackets. So you can do the one like a crazy bracket and your serious bracket, whatever you want to do. It'll keep track. And we haven't really we've discussed that we wanted to do it, and I figured I'd get it set up before the weekend, and it's our last show before Selection Sunday. You obviously can't select teams right now just because they haven't been selected. But once the tournament starts, the brackets lock. So you need to get your picks in before the tournament starts.
Get your
And
picks
and
in.
and let us do some thinking and some talking. I personally would like to have some kind of prize for the winner. I don't know if it'll be money or anything expensive. It might just be you get to have your face on screen with us or something. But please participate with us. We'd love to make this competitive. And if it works out, we can do more things like this in the future.
Jason will buy you a new car.
Yeah, I can't afford that.
Not
Mike
quite
will
that
Jason-
big, but we'll come up with
Whoever
something.
wins, Jason will give them a free meal at the Bear Pit.
You're pretty liberal with those free meals from the Bear Pit, Kellen.
That was the only time I've ever said that.
We'll
air.
think of something that involves all
I
of us
like
and
that.
not
I
just
like
Jason.
that
I think-
one.
I think Mike will give you a ride on his tractor.
Yeah, I'm going for that right now. Yes.
And he will take you on a picnic. And so he better hope that a girl wins. But no, it'll work out. Anyways,
We'll think of something.
we'll figure something out. It'll be a good prize. We are nearing the end of the show, so we're just gonna jump into it with our C squared moment of the day. We will start things off with Jason. What is your C squared moment of the day?
So my C squared moment of the day revolves around my son McCoy, my baby. He's learning words, so he's saying a few words, but he learned how to like scrunch up his nose like this, and he breathes through it like this. It's really fun. He's getting to the age that I really like. That I like being a dad like more. He's less of a baby and more of a toddler. So that's my C squared moment of the day. He's just growing up in front of my eyes.
Jason hates babies, is what he's saying. He only likes
I don't
toddlers.
hate babies. I actually love babies because they get me out of some honeydews every once in a while. Don't tell
All
me.
right, Mike, what is your C squared moment of the day?
All right, so my C squared moment of the day is a little bit sad as well, but I'm gonna go with the topic we had earlier. I know Duke's done, season's over,
That's my
That was
C
super
squared
sad.
moment of the day. No, I was kidding.
but the part that I'm excited for that makes me happy is I'm already excited for next season. I was boring Brady to death, we'll say earlier today, talking about some of the new recruits that they have in high school. I've been watching some highlights of high school recruits and some of the people that might stick around for next year. So I'm already looking forward to the season. It's a long ways away, but I hope it's a lot better than this one.
Oh, yeah. One can only hope. Brady, you're up.
All right, my C squared moment of the day. I'm just gonna go with the fact that I'm gonna go with kind of double. The fact that Wyoming played so well today and almost upset San Diego State. It was a lot of fun to watch, and I'm proud to be from Wyoming. And also the fact that Utah State starts right now. I'm literally watching it on my phone as I'm saying this, which it's about underway. So I'm pumped to watch that, and I still stand by it. They're going all the way. They're winning the Mountain West tournament. You guys watch.
And what are you willing to bet if they don't? Will you burn a Utah
Ooh.
State hat?
I don't know if I have a Utah State hat, but I'm willing to bet something. If you guys come up with something, I'll probably agree to it unless it's completely crazy.
I'm already buying a Duke hat, so Kellen can buy the Utah State hat.
I'll do this. Instead, Brady, you
Okay.
have to grow out your mustache and for a whole day only have half the mustache.
Okay, deal.
I like
Wait,
that.
what do I get if they win? Just
The Mountain
I
West
will-
Conference
I will
tournament.
shave. I will shave half of my goatee
okay for a full day.
for a full day.
All right, deal.
I like it's getting interesting. March Madness
Here
is
we go.
upon us.
I feel bad because I don't really want to
That's
cheer
coming
against Utah State, but that would be. I feel like that's only fair. That's only
It
fair.
would be totally worth it.
All right.
And that's if they
deal.
make it to the tournament or if they win the NCAA tournament. Or if they win the conference.
If they win the Mountain West tournament.
Okay. Perfect. I like that. Okay, well, my C-squared moment of the day has to do with the fact that my wife and I played a board game today, and my wife is dominant at board games and card games and any games. And I'll tell you what, I beat her.
Whoa.
I just heard her in the background. I don't think that's true.
No, it's true. He beat her once.
Yeah, she in all fairness, she beat me once. I beat her once. And I was like, let's do a championship round. And she was like, no. So I had her shook. But
sounds like it.
Yeah, that's my C-squared moment of the day. Anyways, we're gonna sign off. We will be back on Monday. You can tune in tomorrow to hear us on 91.3 FM if you're in the Rock Springs area. We'll be doing our Sports Fans show over the radio. Other than that, we love your guys' comments. Dallin Hatch, we appreciate it. Like and subscribe, Dallin. Share with everyone you know. We're going to have a Sports Fans revolution. Anyways, we're going to sign off. My name is Kellen Hansen, otherwise known as the Crimson Comet.
My name is Brady Fulmer, otherwise known as Lazy Snake.
Prison Mike.
And the Bearded Wonder.
And remember,
K.
G.
Brother.